Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Granblue Fantasy Reaction. Today we have defensive orders, offensive defense, which is just a lot of those words back to back to back. Anyway, this is the second in a row Granblue song I've had to tackle, I think the fourth in total, and I've come to love the music so far. Come to expect a lot though, so this song better be banging. But Wrenchin and my executive producers wanted me to get to this one, so I guess without further ado, let's go! All right. And so it begins. The main theme put my expectations so high. So high. Beautiful. I'm loving the build on it. It's slow, but it's like it keeps, you know, pulling you back into that new motion. Really, I would say it drives you, but it really feels like it's pulling you along. Also, the second song in a row today with an accordion. Not gonna find me complaining. It's just weird because they were two completely different properties. Lots of accordion today. Ooh, okay. Here we are. Yeah. Yeah. I could feel that coming in. But God, that hit harder than I ever could have hoped. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Vocals. There's that power rock, the power metal sort of approach. I've only ever heard that sound in like boss themes so far, so that's kind of fun. I guess I don't know if this is a boss theme, but I assume it's just kind of a normal theme for the game. I love that lift. It's a fantastic lift for that chord. The electric guitar is helping a lot with the pacing of every single like emotional change in that progression. Kind of similar to how this part of the theme has that like cyclical feeling to it. I guess the question is it going to be a loop or is it all original? So far, this game seems to like to do like whole songs, fully original all the way through. I love the Tavern style runs. It's so good. Get Celtic up in here. I love that kick in. So here we are with these chords again. Just the rhythm section for the guitars here. Just adding that change. It would be there either way, but with the guitar, it's a great first count. Oh, we're just gonna get a fade out from here. All right, so it was kind of a loop then, but it just looped the vocal section twice, more or less. God, I love that. I really love that, like, dancey, like, I call them tavern runs. That's not really what they're called, but that's what they feel like whenever you hear them. Just like that bouncy Celtic sort of sound. Just, it's got such a fucking good energy to it. Okay, so I'm mentioning this now instead of earlier in the video because not everyone watches these sections, but I do not have my piano to show you guys what's happening in the song today. I probably won't for a day or two, so sorry that you're watching this on the unfortunate days where I just do not, but I can at least explain some of what's going on here. So the first part of the song is mostly sticking around like the E minor, F sharp minor, and A. There's like a C in there as well. It really just depends on what the song itself is just going for. And the start of the song having that sort of a progression makes a lot more sense because it's a little bit more of this like subtle buildup that's creating the grounding force for the rest of the song. Because we shift heavily when we get to that like more energetic section. I think the song's tonic actually changes a little bit too. It might go up to the A from where the E minor was, and they decide to make that the new root of sorts. It's not like a perfect science here. There's a lot of movement that like leads in that direction, but I think what's happening is just with the chords they picked for the first part of the song, which A is in there. It's not like they're getting rid of that for the second part or utilizing only that chord to change to an entirely new sound. It's just where those chords start and what helps them progress naturally. So we want to start a little bit more subtle and, you know, just make the groundwork, like I said. And then when we get to that faster part, they start to dig into like the A and D relationship, and that is a huge one. A, D, and G especially. That's like the main progression for that. Just bouncing between those chords is basically the entirety of that energy in that second chunk. It's just so, it's so bright. It's so positive, you know, that's coming from what we were at with like the E minor doing the E minor, A, and F sharp minor. This is a very like neutral sort of progression, something that doesn't go too far or lift too much. And then you get to that second half and it's all lifting. It's all positivity. It's all happy sunshine, rainbows. Let's all party and drink and shit. It's a banger, you know? So that sort of feel adjustment is what this song is trying to do, and you have to create that groundwork before you make these changes. It's just usually not that aggressive of a change, but for this genre and like what they're doing with this song, that fits and it makes a lot of sense. Having that like kind of more softer, like welcome to the village sort of sound, and then like you open the door to the bar and it's like, holy shit, there's so many people. Everyone's here. This is obviously the place to be. That shift is definitely the vibe they're going for here. And I love that because it's just a quality of this style of music that I've always loved. It's always something that's made me just kind of giddy when I hear it. I'm like, yeah, like just let's go, you know, and that's the energy again that they're trying trying to get out of you, because it's just science when you get down to it. It's the music theory behind these songs, what makes us so hyped, and a lot of that is the movement of that second part too. We have more like long drawn out sort of chord progressions in the first part, and then it like double times basically the just moving around, just crazy style, and it's so much more fun, and that energy definitely resonates with the listener every single time. The vocals coming in, the guitar coming in, again, great use of those chords, again, just following the root chords there of like the A, the D, and the G, and just setting on those and utilizing those chugs on the guitar, those straight strums, to just be more of the body and create more of a firm separation of each section. Because what we had in the first half, it was a very smooth experience. Everything was rolling through very naturally and it felt good. But when you want to have something have more energy, you have to add some of that somewhere. You have to have a moment where it's like very obviously a kick plate in order to run into the next section. Whereas the first part doesn't want that. It doesn't really need that. It has that cyclical energy to it, and it does kind of keep you going, and there is an energy there that's very positive and outgoing, and that's kind of where like the C major stuff comes from to help out in the first part, because you have to balance that with something more positive, and those sorts of chords are what help with that. It's just something that keeps the whole system moving along, you know. That's why it has that like that feeling. It's like really the highs and lows of a valley and a hill, or like wheels turning, and it's like every single time the apex kind of like catches and it pulls the cart along every single rotation. That's that feeling, and it works really well. But when you want to get that extra push out of it, you want to have like little mini jets on the back of your wagon, then you need to do what the second half of this song did, and adding lyrics to that and having the power metal vocals on there, which I'm calling it power metal vocals because like that's stylistically the closest to me, but it could be a different genre that this artist sings, but I feel like they should sing power metal. If it's not, I'm assuming it's power metal. It feels power metal, so it's probably power metal. But then that energy just kind of continues on for the rest of the song, and it's a really positive, really fun song. It is a bummer that I can't like show you guys any of the chords or anything, so you kind of have to imagine it or like look them up. I apologize. I just do not have the ability to just pop them onto the keyboard like I usually would and cut away to that. So that'll be back in a few days, but it's just not today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video regardless. That's about all I've got to say on this song. A really fun one, but it's also not quite the spectacle that yesterday's was, and the power metal energy that the boss themes that I've heard before this have given me. It's just a completely different feel. This is kind of like somewhere between, you know, like I understand that this is probably like a side game, like one of the offshoot titles. It feels that way at very least, but they obviously want this like sort of high fantasy sort of Celtic tone blending with this like more modern power metal approach, and I love that. That's such a cool blend, and honestly is largely why people love Viking metal, for example. Very much a similar approach there with a little bit less of the orchestration. But if you like this and you haven't heard anything in like the Viking metal sect of music, that genre, go listen to it. You'll probably have a good time if you like the vocals here. Very much a similar energy in a lot of cases. But point being, I'm sure they're trying to go for that, and they are succeeding at that so far, so I'm excited to hear more because I know that there's plenty more for me to get to. So I'll stop yapping now. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want me to get to something else from Granblue Fantasy, by all means drop in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if like Wrenchen did, you want to guarantee that I listen to something, you can always go to my Patreon, and if that tier is open, you can guarantee something out of me. It doesn't matter what it's from, who it's by, if it's good or bad, none of that matters. That's why it's a guarantee. But if you don't want to do any of that, maybe just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!